Hey guys, what's up? This is Grace. I'm in the forest by the creek and I'm coming to you to talk about healing the mother and father wound. And this is a deep thing, okay? Because mother-father wounds are the primary caregivers. Therefore, we establish all of our core wounds from them and generationally, because did you know that 7 generations back lives in your current DNA, which means that the cells of your body hold the memories of your ancestors? Sorry that it's a little bit shaky. 7 generations back are in the cells of your body. So what your parents learned, they learned from their parents and their parents and their parents. And they pass down those patterns until someone is brave enough, which is you and me, to heal and release them. And you know what? It's like a spiral, like this necklace is a spiral. That's those wounds that we get, those core wounds that we get from our family. So I want to tell you how you can heal them, but I first want to explain some about them and, identify if you have a mother or father wound, what to do about it, right? So I'm going to introduce myself. My name's Grace Moralia. I specialize in trauma, inner child, soul healing, okay? I help you release wounds and inner blocks preventing you from living your purpose and being your most authentic self using tools and strategies that kick your core wounds to the curb so you can stop caring about what everybody else thinks and live freely, truly be free in who you are. If you like my energy, please like and subscribe, comment below so that you can boost the algorithm. That is my ask of you for bringing this information to you, is to comment below for the algorithm. And if you are interested in healing your wounds, I do one-on-one coaching programs to help you identify, release, and delete blocks and patterns in your being so that you can step forward into your purpose and into self-love. You can book a free consultation below. I'm sorry this lighting is going to be interesting, but I don't really care. I'm in a really beautiful creek. I just wanted to come on and share this information with you. All right, so I'm going to talk about the father wound and abandonment because this has been coming up a lot in my work and also within myself, because believe it or not, the reason why I got into this work was because I have wounds and I had wounds and I had to figure out how to heal those for myself. And so that turned into a big journey, and now I share what works, right? So the father wound, okay, we'll start there. Many fathers are emotionally avoidant. They do not know how to meet emotional needs of you. And it's because men are taught to grow up as this big, strong, macho thing that doesn't show emotions. And then that blocks them from feeling love and blocks them from feeling what they think would block them from feeling hurt, but really just hurts them in the end. So I want you to notice that if you feel like your parents didn't meet your needs in some way, it's because they couldn't meet their own needs and they couldn't see themselves. So how are you going to ask someone who doesn't love themselves to properly love you or to properly hold space for you if they've never met the depths of themselves, which many men have not, many fathers have not? Then it's very hard for them to understand your core needs. Now, abandonment trauma is a really big one with father wounds, because you could even be just left in your crib for a couple of hours, or, what would be another thing? Told to be, sit in timeout and that you're in trouble and that you're bad when you were little, and that forms in your consciousness deeply, okay? Because from 0 to 7, your subconscious is open, the most open in developing its patterns and ways of being in your personality. So they're gonna stick until you decide to step up and heal them, which is why we want to bring, awareness to how to do this and to take ownership of ourselves, because awareness is 50% of the work. if you're willing to look at yourself and see how you're not showing up for yourself and your needs, where are you abandoning yourself? Where are you not looking at yourself clearly? Because you're afraid? Because you're used to being alone? Because you're used to being what I call hyper independent? Meaning you've done everything by yourself. So what does it mean to ask for help, right? It's totally foreign for many people. But your inner child, the part of you that didn't have your needs met, okay, by these primary caregivers, for one reason or another, is still playing out the same old story in your being. So what do you do about that? We need to hold space and presence for this part of you. What information does this wound have? And let's say it's abandonment. Let's say it's unworthiness. Let's say it's just a sad part of you that wanted more love than it got from one or the other parent. That's really what it comes down to, right? All these wounds have needs that weren't met. So your power is going to be within holding awareness for these parts of you. What do I mean by awareness? Bringing your attention to them. Bringing them up in meditation, bringing them, oh my God, bugs, bringing them up in, bringing them up in meditation. Let's just keep it there. I could give you a lot more tools, which is what I give in my one-on-one coaching program. I'm giving you tools and strategies to heal the core wounds that you have. But the first thing that I'll tell you in this video is to meditate on them and bring awareness to them and see what emotions bubble up. You're going to hear me repeating the same thing over and over again. Why? Because it's what's needed. Because if you identify yourself with being used to being abandoned and that you are not good enough and that people don't see you and that your emotions aren't valid and you're used to shape-shifting for people's needs because God forbid your needs would be met. God forbid you'd be loved for who you are. God forbid. We've got to have these conversations with ourselves and each other. How can we allow ourselves to come out into the world being who we really are? And that's about releasing that fear. Releasing that fear. You know who you are in your heart. And the more that you decide to work on yourself, the easier it'll be to step forward into who you really are. So remember that anywhere that you were not validated as a child sticks with you, and then it's like, how are you not validating yourself? You attract relationships that don't validate you. How are you not validating yourself? How can you see yourself more in who you are? What's underneath that wound? What do you think? There's nothing to be afraid of besides your own fear. We play out these scenarios on earth and we learn these lessons. And it's like a spiral. We spiral in on ourselves. And we have the ability to break these loops, break these patterns through healing, through releasing, through forgiving ourselves and the people who hurt us before. Because your people aren't going to ask you to prove yourself to them. Your people aren't going to make you feel weak. And if they do, they're not your people. I'd rather you be alone and figuring out what you want and what you don't want than being around people that make you feel like there's something wrong with you. You don't have something wrong with you. And I'm sorry that you've had, people in the past that made you feel like that. We all do. That's why we're in this work. You're drawn to this video for that reason. But you are stronger than that, and you have to choose to put your foot down and put up boundaries with these people. Put up boundaries with your family. Put up boundaries with, anything that feels abusive to you, because then you are self-abandoning. If your parents didn't meet your needs, you can tend to self-abandon. What does that mean? Not validating yourself, not standing up for yourself, watering down your truth, pretending like you don't care, smushing into a room and pretending like that's you when it's not. The only way you're going to get out of this is being honest And shrinking is no longer allowed. Let's leave that in 2020, okay? It's 2024. No more shrinking. No more trying to hold down your truth, okay? So let's get into father wound or mother wounds. Hopefully that was helpful in some capacities. I don't have my notebook today, so I wasn't able to, draw out how the father wound and mother wound affects you. I'm just going off of my soul, intuition, and what I know to be true from my work. Now, I will also say about the father wound that it does cause us to attract relationships and people that can be avoidant or that can be, mirroring these traits of the father, or we could hold traits of the father. Because let's say your father's a narcissist or something like that, doesn't care about your needs, yeah, you could develop some of those things. The odds of you feeling safe in your body if you had parents who were avoidant to you is smaller, because if you didn't have your core needs met, you're not going to feel safe in your body. And you're going to carry some of those belief systems into adulthood. And so it's about debunking those beliefs, debunking those traumas, and being like, you know what? Yeah, those are stories now, but I can heal myself with the right tools, strategy, and time. You have to do it in time. It takes time to meet yourself. It takes time to know yourself. It takes time to stop identifying with where you came from and really creating your own self. It's a constant journey that you get to evolve into. All right? If this is resonating, comment below that this resonates, please. Thanks. And like and subscribe if you like this energy. So let's go into mother wounds for a minute here. Are you an overgiver? Are you a people pleaser? Do you have a hard time standing in your boundaries? These come down from feminine energy blocks, mother wounds, where you are overgiving, you are taking care of people, and then teaching them and yourself that you don't get something in return. How is your receiving? How well do you receive? Okay. If you're used to overgiving without getting your needs met, it's something to look at. Because if you notice, all of this stuff can be tied. Every wound that you have is tied to another wound, and the more that you pay attention to it, you'll see that it just spirals up and out of your body, but you have to decide that. And the mother wound is sticky because you need to find out your worthiness beyond taking care of people. Who are you when you're not doing? Who are you when you are owning your worth and saying no, right? So something you can do to help heal that is putting up boundaries and saying no to people where you feel like you are, over giving, and you're like, wait, this is not reciprocal. This does not feel good to me. I want you to notice that in your relationships. Do they feel reciprocal? If they don't, and that you're the one that's always has the people are crying on your shoulder, asking for your attention. These leaves are starting to bother me. It's a place for you to own your worth and find out where your edge is. So let's say you want to set a boundary and you don't really know how. I'll tell you how. When something starts feeling sticky in a relationship, when you're like, oh, I don't feel like they're giving back to me as much as I'm giving to them, or I feel like it feels sticky. It stops feeling flowy. That's where you have an opportunity to put a boundary down, because there's a need under there for you, either to be met by them in that relationship that you can step up and voice, or something within you that you need to see for yourself, whether that be a trigger point, something your inner child's trying to say, or just a need that you need to validate and give yourself. Because if that person can't give it to you, then it's like, why are you in that relationship? I would always say, give as much as you get, as much as you can, okay? Gauge the relationship and put it in the place where it deserves to be put when you are saying, all right, how are they showing up? You can test people, give them time to show you consistency. If they can't do that, what's the point, right? Put them where they really are, not where you want them to be. That'll save you a lot of heartbreak, okay? So that's my guidance for today. I'm going to go swimming, but if you're interested in going deeper into these wounds for yourself and healing them, you can book a consultation call with me below. And I have one more spot available for coaching at this moment. And yeah, so I'll talk to you soon. Please like and subscribe and have a good day.